Hello. Marietta here with another video. I pray that all is well with y'all. But y'all know what? I got to thinking about how we speak so much about the Section 8 eviction program and things of that nature. Today I want to talk to you about a different situation. I want to talk to you about a child support situation. I want to talk to you about the child support situation. Why? Because it is something that really needs to be spoke on. And I find that there's a lot of stigmatism being put around the women being in Section 8 with children by themselves, and they have no support and they have no support system. In this 2025 child support season, it is time for the parent that is not, whether it's man or woman. Statistically, it shows that there are 80% more women that are single parents than there are men taking care of their children by themselves. So with the women taking care of them children by themselves, let me speak on that aspect for a minute. As far as you ladies taking care of your children by yourself, it's time for y'all to step up to the plate and see what you can do to try to involve these fathers in their life. If and so it is possible. Now, if and so you'll find yourself in a situation where it's not feasible, it's not possible, the relationship is too dangerous for the children to be involved in, of course, do not involve them in any situation of that. Use your own judgment. I'm not here to tell nobody what to do. I'm here for us to open up the floor for suggestions and to talk about the reasons why these parents may not be in these children's lives. And y'all know I always like putting myself on the hot seat. Now, it's in a situation where even though me and my kid's dad did split up, we still co-parented. There was still, as you say, bonus parents in my children's lives that they could go to, that they could talk to, whether it be the dad's girlfriend or whether it be my brothers, my sisters, their aunts, their uncles. They always had somebody they can turn to, or even their friends' parents. So therefore, they were never left out there. I had no problem with adults giving my children advice or giving them information that could help them along the way. The problem that we're having is a lot of times in these situations, because I was once young too, I was once, and now I'm young and now I'm old, but in those situations, it would always be a situation if the dad picked up a new girlfriend, the dad may have picked up a wife. And because of that, maybe the baby's mom was angry and she felt as though that she didn't want no other woman around her kids. Women was using that a lot back in the day. Come on, somebody. I know exactly what was going on because I lived through that era time too, where, and even some of the men, if you were not sleeping with the mother or you couldn't have the mother, you didn't want nothing to do with the kids, you would walk away from the kids and you leave the mother to struggle to take care of them kids by herself. So there comes a time where you got to step up to a plate and acknowledge the part that you played and be accountable and responsible for the part that you played in the delinquency of that parent not being there. And then we end up moving into these homes where the parent could not be or where he could not afford to be, so therefore that kept another separation. But right now we don't want to dwell on what caused the separation. We want to know how we can fix the problem of putting these children back in their father's lives so they can have a family, so that they can go see their grandma, so they can go see their aunties, and on the other side where you may have been doing it all by yourself, daughter, you may have been doing it all by yourself, but now you don't have to do it all by yourself. It's 2025 now. It's time for y'all to let some stuff go. It's time for you to see if you can mend some bridges and to see if you can, as they say, fix some fences and see if there's a way that you can put these kids in a situation where they can have two parents fighting for them, two parents fending for them, two parents so they can get some understanding of why their lives are broken and what it's going to take to put their lives back together. These are conversations that we need to have. Type it in the comments what you feel about 2025 child support, trying to bring these children back together, because the support is going to start in the home with you. Because a lot of you ladies feel as though that even if you was one of those that felt as though you're not putting your father's dad on child support for whatever reason, maybe he may be going to give you a couple of dollars and then the relationship went south. Now you want your child support. Now you want him to help with the kids. Well, in order for you to want him to help with the kids, is he able to see these children? Is he going to be able to take these children to football games, football practice? Is he going to be able to be active in these children's lives? Whatever reason not. If there's some things that you might can add to help another young lady, maybe younger than you, that may be going through the same thing with her baby's dad, it's time for us to drop these things in the comments. Is it time to let some things go? Is it time to allow these men to be able to be in these children's lives, that want to be in these children's lives? I know I seen a video that was flying around TikTok, I believe it was, where y'all go look it up for yourself, about the men that were actually actively putting themselves on child support. But the way they were doing it was almost like it was a flex, like it was, you know, something that they should not have done already. Because if you're actively putting yourself on child support, all that told me is that you weren't paying your child support. That you got to allow somebody got to tell you that you need to pay child support to them children. This is man or woman. So nobody should have to tell you to take care of your responsibility. Nobody should have to tell you that that child deserves and that child needs to be taken care of, and that child needs some things to grow up, to be able to grow up with a sense of pride, a sense of decency. That child needs some things, and that child needs a parent first and foremost, because a lot of times some of you walked away because you became your child's friend and you were too busy trying to be the friend, and you were too busy trying to be liked by the child to the point where the child started disrespecting you, because that's how they do their friends. Children don't need friends when they come down to that. They need a parent. They already got friends. They get their friends out in the street. They get their friends at school. They need a parent in the home. They need somebody who's going to look after them, who's going to raise them and rear them the right way. The problem being is a lot of the girls now are afraid of leaving out of Section 8 housing or being by themselves because of the fact that it's hard to raise kids out here. It's hard to even get a job out here. It's hard to even get rent or anything out here. And so you lose that placement. Where do you go from there? Because you don't have a relationship with the family or with the man that has given birth to help you give birth to these kids. You don't have that relationship. And you look at statistics, it's so many women out here with these kids all by themselves. Some of you have brought these things on yourself. Some of you, the men just walked away. Some of you may not even know who the baby daddy is. Some of you might not, baby daddy might not even know he is the father of them children. It's time for us to take accountability for these children, because we are stronger than that. We are stronger than to have to keep going through this and have our daughters on these lines crying about where they're going to go with these kids when that kid got a whole mom, a whole dad, a whole two families. There's two families. You mean to tell me there's nobody on mom's side, nobody on dad's side that even cares enough, that does not even have a heart to make sure that these kids got a roof over their head? We're talking about child support 2025. What kind of child support are you going to offer? Because child support don't only have to be monetary. You can have a place to put these kids. You can help them raise these kids. You can go to some of these PTA meetings and some of these IEP meetings and go to some of these football games and basketball games and make yourself present in the moment. Make yourself accountable. Make yourself known to this child that you is this child's father, and be able to stand up and take care of this child. You is this child's mother. I don't want to just put it on the fathers, because there is some fathers out there that have these children and raising these children by themselves. My hat goes off to you. I salute you. I salute all the men and women that are out there grinding and standing on your own and taking care of your own kids and making sure that they're safe, making sure that they're fed, clothed, and a roof over their head. I commend you for that. But with those that are actually left behind, there are so many kids that don't have a two-parent home, and now it's like the government's taking things away. So now it's like saying, who's going to fill that gap? Who's going to fill that void? Who's going to cover that financial stability, that financial responsibility? Who's going to do that? Who's going to stand up and take responsibility for these children that are going to need a place, a warm blanket, a place to lay their head, a meal to put in their belly? Who's going to stand up and take responsibility for this situation as it gets worse, as the days get worse? You see, people are studying getting laid off. Parents are studying getting laid off. Parents are studying getting laid off. People are studying losing their jobs. People are studying losing their homes. People are moving into their cars. It's time for somebody to stand up. Project 2025 child support. This is what we need to be talking about. Child support is needed. Child support for these children is needed. Somebody needs to say it, and God knows I'm the woman for the job. Let's talk about how we can mend these things and get our kids off the street, get our kids taken care of, get our kids in a place where they can feel good and not be going to bed hungry, and have a bed to sleep in, and have some dignity, and somebody that cares about them, that they won't have to keep growing up and somebody putting a pill in their mouth and setting them in a corner because of the fact that they now have issues. They got mommy issues, daddy issues, abandonment issues, and nobody's addressing what the child is feeling. So therefore now the child grows up with these same feelings, these same emotions, and then they begin to have birth, and the cycle just repeats itself. We got to start talking about these things right now, because of the fact that, as you can see, the world around us as we know it is crumbling. Child support is going to be on the table. It's coming. Child support is coming. Child support is coming, and it's going to knock on your door. So before it knocks on your door, voluntarily, involuntarily, you're going to have to take care of these kids. So therefore, you might as well figure out a way that you can start now, even if you only got $5, $10, $20 to add towards taking care of that child. Go sign yourself up for child support if you think that's easier. You think that's better for you to do. If you can't deal with the mother or you can't deal with the father, y'all can't come together in agreement. Y'all need a mediator. It's time for somebody to mediate in the midst of this situation. And it's not even about you. It's about this child. This is why we're here. We're not here to point fingers. We're not here to argue. We're here to try to give some solutions of what it is that we think would be best for the girls right now as they transition out of Section 8. or as they transition out here in this world, this big old cold world by themselves, where are the fathers standing up for these children? Where are the mothers that have left these children? I don't want to say it one way because I know it's not one way. And I know I don't want nobody coming for us in the comments to argue about the situation. We want you to come to us in the comments. Well, what did you do if you was in this situation? What would you do if you was in this situation? What advice do you have to offer the young girls that are about to be in this situation? We see what this is about to do. You already see government shutdown, people living in cars, people living in RVs, jobs lost, 300,000 black women losing their jobs. It's just one thing after another. It's the snowball effects. Before you know it, a lot of kids on the street, mothers in lost Section 8 housing. These are all things that is coming about that we see are starting to fall apart right now. Evictions are out there. So before we start going crazy and the children end up out on the street, what can you do to keep these children in the home? What can you do so these children won't be traumatized and they won't be devastated? What should you do to actually keep them, their mental health at peace, so they can go to school and feel good and feel productive so that they can continue to grow? Let's have that conversation. A lot of times we try to avoid certain conversations because it's too sticky, because of the fact that it brings too much emotional turmoil. But let's have the conversation. Let's do it. And just for the record, it is more fathers that do have a custodial child support order in place than there is mothers. As I was looking at the statistics, it says 46% versus 43% for the women and 51% versus 41% for the men. I mean, we got to look at the fact that child support is for the child, to help the child keep a roof over their head, to help the child help the mother be able to help that child be able to have the things that they need to survive: food, clothing, toys, trips, to be able to get to the doctor, to have transportation, things of that nature, for them to have food on the table, for them to go, to have eyeglasses, eye care, dental. You got medical insurance that needs to be taken care of. All this is part of child support. If you have a job where you got medical coverage, can that child be added to your medical coverage? Mother might be on Medicaid, and say if they stop Medicaid, Dad, can you kick in? Can you be the second choice? Right now, behind that, can you sign as a second partaker of that medical bill? I mean, these are things that need to be talked about because these are mature things that need to be discussed. And a lot of times we used to hear parents say, for the sake of the child, the father and the mother need to stay together for the sake of the child. The mother and the father need to stay together to be able to raise that child, but they don't have to actually be in the same house to co-parent that child respectfully, to be able to make sure that that child is well taken care of, even though it is known that statistically the child is better when they have the mother and the father in the house, parenting them together and showing them what a healthy love and a healthy relationship and a healthy parenting looks like. A lot of us have never seen that. We do not know how to display what we've never lived. So I'm gonna leave that right there, and y'all drop in the comments what you think about child support 2025 and how you think child support 2025 should look, because we know how it's supposed to look. We know how it looks when we go to the courthouse. We did that already. So we're trying to propose a new child support 2025. So let's type it in the comments and see what child support 2025 might look like in the case of men stepping up to the plate and taking care of their children, and women stepping up to the plate and taking care of their children, and they co-parenting together. Y'all be blessed. If and so you're not subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing to the channel. If and so you've not turned your notification bells on, turn your notification bells on so you'll be notified when I drop my next video. Let's talk about child support in 2025.